$185. That's what the average household in the overdraft crowd is basically donating each year in bank fees. And it usually happens right before your next deposit hits. If you fix that one leak and you do one tiny move every day, staying poor gets insanely hard. Let me show you what I mean through Harry. Harry works as a pharmacy tech, long shifts. On his feet, he brings home $2,843 a month after taxes. Not terrible, but his bank balance never seems to climb. It just resets. One week, his account hits negative $63. Not because he bought something wild, because 3 small charges hit in the wrong order. A streaming fee, a forgotten app, then his phone bill, and then the overdraft fee lands like a brick. You know that feeling, the one where you're not even mad. You're just tired. Because you weren't trying to be reckless. You were just trying to live. And here's the part people don't say out loud. Most people don't stay broke because they don't make money. They stay broke because their money has no walls. It can leak from anywhere, at any time, all day long. So Harry tries the usual stuff. He tells himself, I'll be disciplined. He plans to spend less. He promises he'll budget better. And then Tuesday happens. A coworker asks if he wants coffee. It's $8. He says yes. Then lunch is $13. Then gas is $62. Then a small treat order shows up at his door because he's exhausted and his brain wants comfort. None of it is evil. It's just life. But the math is brutal when it repeats. In the Federal Reserve's own household survey, about half of younger adults can't cover a surprise $400 expense with cash, not because they're lazy, because life hits faster than their buffer grows. Harry is living inside that statistic, so he runs a 90-day experiment. Not a perfect plan, not a fancy system, one daily move, and it starts with a rule from a book older than your grandparents. Back in 1926, George Clason wrote, The Richest Man in Babylon. The big idea wasn't earn more. It was simpler. Build a wall first. Then let life happen outside the wall. Harry's problem wasn't that money didn't come in. It was that money never stayed. So here's what he does. He creates a number, a floor. The floor is the smallest amount he refuses to let his checking account drop below. Not a savings goal, a safety line. Harry picks a floor of $210. Why $210? Because he looked at his next 3 days of bills. Not the month, just the next 3 days. He saw a $47 charge, a $69 charge, and a $91 charge that could hit any time. 210 covers it with breathing room. Then he names his second place. He opens a separate pocket or sub-account in his bank. Call it a vault, a jar, a savings pocket, whatever your bank calls it. He names it Wall. And every single night at 9:24 p.m., he does the same move. He opens the bank app. He looks at his checking balance. Anything above 210 gets swept into Wall. Every night. No exceptions. If his checking is 258, he moves 48. If it's 301, he moves 91. If it's 210, he moves nothing. That's it. No spreadsheets, no categories, no guilt. Just a wall. The first night feels stupid. He sweeps $36. He laughs. $36? Big deal. Then day 2, he sweeps 19. Day 3, he sweeps 0. Day 4, he sweeps 47. And something weird happens by the end of week 1. Harry starts looking at spending differently. Not because he became a monk, because now spending threatens the wall. Before, his checking account was one big puddle. He could step in it all day. Now, it has an edge. And edges change behavior. Week 2 hits him with a test. His cousin invites him out. Harry wants to go. He deserves a break. He checks his balance at 6:40 p.m. He sees $234. That means he's got $24 above the wall? Not a lot. So he does something he's never done before. He says, I can come, but I'm not eating there. No speech, no drama. He eats at home first. He shows up. He gets water. He hangs out. He laughs. He spends 0. And he doesn't feel deprived. He feels in control. By the end of the first month, Harry's wall pocket shows $412. That number shocks him, because he didn't save. He just stopped letting money wander. Now listen closely, because month 2 is where this gets dangerous in a good way. Harry gets confident, too confident. One Friday, he skips the sweep. He's tired. He says, "I'll do it tomorrow." Saturday morning, he wakes up and his car won't start. Battery's dead. $218. He pays it. Then he watches 2 pending charges hit. Then another charge hits early. And for the first time in weeks, his account dives close to zero again. Not negative, but close enough to feel the old panic. That moment teaches him the real lesson. The wall isn't about the money you moved. It's about the fees you never pay. It's about the emergencies you don't have to finance. It's about the mental space you get back when your account stops threatening you. People talk about getting rich, but poor is expensive. Late fees, overdraft fees, rush shipping, paying interest because you didn't have cash, fixing problems last minute because you couldn't plan. That's the poverty tax, and the daily wall starts cutting it off. By the end of month 2, Harry's wall pocket hits $986. He's never had that much sitting in one place. And this is where his brain tries to sabotage him. It whispers, "You've got money now. You can breathe. You can loosen up." That whisper is the trap. So Harry adds one small twist. He makes the wall visible. He puts a sticky note inside his wallet. Not fancy, just a note. It says, "Wall first." And he sets his phone wallpaper to one line. 210 stays. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how does this make staying poor impossible? Here comes the part that flips everything. Most people think the way out is earning more. Earning more helps. Sure, but without a wall, more money just gives your spending more room to sprint. Morgan Housel talked about this in The Psychology of Money. The point wasn't that math doesn't matter, it's that behavior is the multiplier. And behavior loves simple rules. A wall is a simple rule. And it creates a strange effect. It turns your checking account into a hallway, not a living room. Money passes through. It doesn't hang out. Now, let's connect this to what banks quietly profit from. The consumer watchdog numbers keep showing the burden isn't evenly spread. A small slice of account holders gets hit again and again with fees. The same people, the same cycle. The wall breaks that cycle by design, because once your checking account has a floor, it stops falling into the fee zone. No fee zone means no catch-up month. No catch-up month means your next paycheck can build instead of repair. That's the compounding shift nobody celebrates. Not investment compounding, stress compounding, the relief snowball. Harry proves it in month 3. Month 3 starts rough. His hours get cut for 2 weeks. His take-home drops by $374. Old Harry would have spiraled. He would have used a credit card for groceries, then paid interest, then paid fees, then chased the gap next month. But this time, he has the wall. He doesn't touch it for random spending. That pocket feels different now. So he does something smarter. He adjusts the floor for 2 weeks. He drops it from 210 to 165, not forever, just for the storm. Then he keeps sweeping above the new floor every night. That's the genius. The wall isn't fragile, it's flexible. It doesn't require perfection, it requires returning. By the end of month 3, even with reduced pay, his wall pocket grows to $1,329. And that's where the identity shift hits. He stops saying, "I'm broke." He starts saying, "I'm building." You can feel the difference in your chest when you say those 2 sentences. Month 4 is the big test. His dentist tells him he needs work, not optional. $684. This is where most people go backward. They swipe a card, they pay interest, they spend the next 6 months digging out. Harry doesn't. He pays cash. He pulls from wall, pays the bill, and his pocket drops. It drops to $645. And instead of feeling failure, he feels power. Because his life problem got handled without panic. That's what the wall buys you. Options. And options are the opposite of poverty. Now, here's what happens next. Harry keeps sweeping nightly. Not huge amounts, small chunks, but his wall starts refilling almost immediately. Week 1 after the dentist, he sweeps 61, then 28, then 45, then 12. By the end of month 5, wall is back to $1,198. And now, Harry upgrades the system without changing the habit. Same nightly sweep, same floor. But he splits where the sweep goes. 80% still goes to wall until it reaches a new target, $2,500. The other 20% goes to one specific goal. For Harry, It's his credit card balance. $2,073. He doesn't do complicated payoff math. He just feeds it daily, like a drip. Because the daily habit is the engine. Everything else is just where the engine points. By the end of month 6, his card drops to $1,491. His wall pocket sits at $2,206. And for the first time, Harry has a buffer and momentum at the same time. That combination is rare. Most people have neither. Now let's bring this back to you because your details will be different. Your floor might be $80 or $300. Your sweep might be $5 some nights or $50. Your bank might call it a vault, a jar, or just savings. Doesn't matter. The mechanism is the same. You're building a wall between your life and your impulses, between your bills and your bad timing, between your paycheck and the fee zone. And once that wall exists, you stop bleeding money in the dumbest ways. You stop paying to be poor. And that's why the title is true. Not because you magically become rich, but because the cycle that keeps you poor gets interrupted every single day. So here's your simple start tonight. Pick your floor. Make it boring. Make it survivable. Something that keeps you safe for the next few days. Create your wall pocket. Name it something that feels serious. Then set one alarm daily at a time you're actually home. 9:24 p.m. worked for Harry because his shift ended at 9. Pick your version, and when the alarm hits, sweep anything above the floor. That's your one job, not be perfect. Just sweep. Do it for 7 days and you'll feel the first shift. Do it for 30 days and you'll see the first real number. Do it for 90 days, and you'll start living like a person with options. And once you have options, you can't be controlled by emergencies anymore. You can't be controlled by fees. You can't be controlled by panic. That's when the real climb starts. Because this is the part people miss. The wall doesn't just save money. It saves your decision-making. It saves your nervous system. It saves your future choices. And if you want the next step after the wall, the part that turns the same daily sweep into investing, I'll cover that next. But first, build the wall. Tonight. One floor, one pocket, one sweep. Then wake up tomorrow as someone who's finally got walls around their money.